Hey guys, welcome to Drawing with Waffles. Today I am doing another little drawing, and I'll be using specifically the master markers, the brush pens, as well as the master micro pen fine liners. So I'm what's it called? It's like a brand loyalty, woohoo! Well, the reason I am doing this is because I plan on doing a review of both the fine liners and the markers, so you can look forward to that next week, and if you're not subscribed you can subscribe, and that way you won't miss it. But yeah, next week I'm going to do a much more in-depth review of both the markers and the fine liners, and yeah, you can look forward to that. Anyway, I'm just sketching out a character for this, and I had like a weird Alfonso Mucca, is that how you say his name? I don't know, I'll Google it later, we'll see. And I just saw some of his work in my head when I was sketching this, and I was trying to come up with something, you know, a little bit inspired by him. Like, it by no means looks like his art, but it is indeed inspired. And so I even gave it a bit of a border around the outside edge, and like that basically captures all the art and keeps it enclosed. And I put a bunch of like flowers and petals all the way around it, you know, just to give it a little bit of a outdoorsy feel. And I gave her like a toga robe thing, very like Egyptian-ish. Not really, it's really just a white robe tied in the corner. It's, yeah, I don't know, it's a little inspired by maybe some ancient Egyptians, but it's not really that good, so I don't know. Yeah, it's really more like a Greek, yeah, maybe like a Greek goddess sort of thing, but yeah, we'll see. You'll see when I color it, what it looks at. I don't know. It's fine, you know? And I also redid the face a couple times because I wasn't really happy with that. And I prefer this face a lot more, and I played around with the chin and the hair. I actually did her hair, long straight hair, which if I had been going more for Greek goddess, probably would have made it curly. But I really wasn't thinking. This was really just a sketch. I did do a lot of pre-planning. This was just like, just putting everything onto the paper and not really worrying about it too much, you know? Like, yeah, I don't know. I really was just trying to draw something because I'd been in a little bit of a rut, and I really hadn't done anything traditional to this scale in a very long time. So I thought, if I just take it slow, you know, just worry about each little piece as I do it. Don't really get overwhelmed by how the end result will look. Just, you know, take it one step at a time. Just sort of have fun. Don't worry about impressing anybody, you know, just enjoy the process. So that is why, I mean, it doesn't really have a theme, so yeah. And now we're on to the inking, and I'm doing, yes, I'm using the Master Fine Liner in 0.03, I believe. And I used that for the whole thing. I was planning on using all the different fine liners because the fine liner set comes with 16, and 16 black, all in different like shapes and sizes. Like there's even some calligraphy pens in there as well. I'll have a link in the description to both the markers and the fine liners if you want to check those out. But again, I will have the full review next week. And if it has already been next week, in the future, I'll have a link to that video in the description as well, where you can see my review. Yeah. Now I'm just continuing the line art basically, and adding in all of the details for the cloth. I'm not a huge expert when it comes to fabrics, although a certain person keeps saying that I am. False advertising. You know who you are. Anyway, but I tried my best, and I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out, so I can't complain. Yeah, adding a little bit of a basket weave to the line art here for the basket that's behind her. And again, just a lot of weird swishies, just swishies and circles. I was like, oh, I can add grapes in here, why not? That'll add a little bit more texture to my swishies. I can add circles as well. So yeah, and then also bricks. I didn't fully line art each brick and make it like square, square, square. I tried to do it very soft, and like the bricks have been there for a very long time, and some of them are slowly poking out, and none of them are very sharp or hard edges. They're very organic, and I really like that about them. Adding in some different shaped flowers. I was like, hey, we need more texture. I can add some like tulipy. I'm using air quotes when I say tulipy, but you know, none of these flowers look like specific flowers. They're just flowery flowers. Yeah, and then we just erase all the original sketching, and then we'll be left with the liner, and we can go in with the master markers. Woohoo! And with the master markers, I've made this color key set a color set, a color key, so that I know what all the colors look like on paper before I start throwing them onto my illustration. And I picked this color for the skin, which is 107 sand. That's it. Oh, it's right on the screen. What am I thinking? Jeez. Anyway, I don't usually use this color for base skin tones, but I did want her to have a bit of a darker colored skin, which I kind of failed with later. But I wanted it to be darker so that it would contrast more with her toga garment. Yeah, so I really do like this as a skin color. And then yeah, I'm using 104 for like the bronzy gold bits. The skin colors, well, I don't know what to say about that. I don't know. I made one huge mistake with this art, and I don't want to hear any comments about it because I do fix it later. At first I thought, oh, it's not that big of a deal, no one will notice, but then I was like, yeah, everybody's gonna notice how freaking weird this looks, and I don't fix it soon enough, and I wish I fixed it at the beginning. Like I just didn't notice it at first because it was a mistake, okay? Like there was no sketch line that was right here that I inked, and so it was like a whole new line, and it wasn't supposed to be there, and it looks really, really bad, and I know you're all looking at it, and I'm not gonna mention where it is because I don't want to talk about it, and I don't want to see one comment about it, okay? I know it's there. You don't have to tell me. I fix it later. It's okay. Okay, yeah, I'm a little freaked out about it, but I really don't like it. Anyway, I used a bunch of saturated colors for the flowers around her, like pinks and greens, and even this sort of bluish green color that I really like. And I did that to add more saturation to the outside of the picture when she's, her outfit is just so bland and white, basically. So I was like, oh, if I add a lot of colors to the outside, maybe that'll look cool. Again, this whole art was just a bit of an experimentation, so yeah. And then to bring all those like really saturated colors together, I have this very desaturated purple that I used to shade everything. So I didn't use different colors to shade each element. I used the same one, which kind of helped to bring it together, which might be a bit of a lazy noobish thing to do, but I did it and I'm confessing, so that's what happened. And yeah, I think it really helped. I do like the way that looks, and I really like it looks like there's no light in that area, so like it's all saturated where the sun's hitting, and then with that purple color, it's almost like a gray. It looks like, you know, there's less sun hitting it, so it's less colorful, and I really like that. And then another big regret I have from this drawing is making her hair blonde. I don't know what I was thinking. It just happened. I just grabbed a color and it was blonde, and I was like, oh, I don't like this. Like as soon as I did it, but once I did it, I committed and I started shading it, and I actually used this sort of purple color to shade it, and I really like the way that looks. It looks very pretty. I really like that. But yeah, I was thinking her having black hair the whole time I was drawing it, and then I don't know what happened. Oh well, it's too late now. And then for the bricks, I actually used, I think, 3 different colors to shade each of the bricks, like so that none of the same color was really touching each other. I mean, there are parts where the same color touches each other, but I wanted to add a little bit of texture, so that was the reason I chose different colors for all the bricks. But I kind of wish that I had just used one desaturated color for the whole thing to draw a little less attention to it, but you know, what's done is done, which seems to be the theme of today's illustration. And then for the sky background, I think I actually used like a light gray, but when it's with all of these saturated colors, it almost looks blue. I don't know. I need to really figure out how that stuff works so that I know how to pick colors, because you don't want to just pick a blue color to be blue, because when you're looking at the illustration as a whole, you want all the colors to look the way you want them once it's all put together. And I don't know if that makes any sense, but I kind of know what I'm talking about, but I don't know how it works, so I can't really explain it. But yeah, don't pick a color just because it's blue, you know. I don't know. I like the way that looks. Very simple background. And with that, I think I am just about done. And of course, I fixed that mistake, so it's fine. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you all enjoyed watching me use these master markers, like a full illustration for the first time. I did use them on that planner. Yeah, I'll have a link to that where I used the master markers once before. But yeah, next week I plan on having the full review, so if you're interested in that, subscribe or just check back in a week, okay? Yeah, so perfect. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys all next week, and I hope you have a very delicious evening full of waffles. Bye!